Hello, warriors. Welcome to the You Movement. I am B. Today we had our first Wednesday at 5:30 Spiritual Warriors Support Group Zoom meeting. If you would like to join either of the Spiritual Warriors Support Group meetings on Zoom, they are held on Sundays at 3 o'clock, I think, 3 o'clock or 3 p.m., 3 Eastern Standard Time. Or is that 3:30? I'm pretty sure it's 3 o'clock. And then 5:30 on Wednesday evenings, p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So those two meetings will be held weekly, and you are welcome to join us. To do so, please join the Spiritual Warriors Support Group over on Facebook. The link to do that is in the description below of every single one of my videos. And today's meeting, we were discussing a lot of divine feminine energy, or feminine energy in comparison to masculine energy. We all have feminine and masculine in us, the yin and the yang energies, the Shakti and the Shiva energies that flow within us. And what I have been noticing in my own healing awakening, as well as observing with others that I have been talking to, is since Venus went retrograde a couple of days ago, and will be retrograde until mid-April. Venus is the representation of divine feminine energy. And according to most astrologers, some also refer to Juno. But for this, we're going to use Venus as representation of feminine energy and Mars as representation of masculine. Now, Mars just went direct not so long ago, about a week or so ago, and Venus has now gone retrograde. So what does this all mean? For me, what I am observing is it's a time to sit down the masculine energy and really focus our attention on the feminine. And how this plays out in individuals such as myself, and perhaps you resonate with this as well, is if you have been in trauma for a large majority of your life and you didn't have a masculine figure that protected you from abuses, what ended up happening for your very survival is you took on the masculine energy within yourself. And now I have spent the majority of my life in toxic masculine energy. And that is because it was a response to trauma. And so because of that, I was playing the one that was the strong one, the protector, the energy of I can do everything. I can do, and keep on doing. I can pay all the bills. I can do all the DIY. I can do all the problem solving. I can take care of everything. And now, because of that, I repressed a lot of my feminine energy because my feminine energy was wounded. And I didn't want to show my wounded feminine. I wanted to show my strength and be resolute and be stoic and strong. Stand in the face of my abuser and appear to be unfazed. So gray stoning is a term when you stand and you're like, I'm not affected. I am not affected. I am not reactioning. I am not responding. And my face is a bit of a giveaway because it's so expressive, but I would try with everything in me to be non-reactionary when I was being insulted, bullied, minimized, and any number of other insulting energies, abusive energies. And because of that, there was a whole part of my feminine energy that went into the shadow. And the shadow is where energies, bubble to the surface. I've compared an expressed shadow is like beach balls that we shove down, and then they go pop, pop, pop. So my wounded feminine would burst forth in hysterics at times, calm, calm, calm as a cucumber, and then extreme anxiety, extreme panic. And I would be like, no, I don't want to be in that energy. That's the worst. They're getting a reaction from me. I'm emotional. I'm neurotic. I'm not fine. Shove that back down. Shove that back down. Get down. And to keep that energy down, as we know, we grasp onto all kinds of tools and techniques to keep that lovely feminine energy that, if it was brought to light, could be in our highest and greatest good. But because it's in its wounded state, we repress it and we put on the masculine energy of I'm gonna take care of everything. In so doing, I became detached from my feminine in so many ways that being vulnerable, being soft, being gentle were not energies that I had access to, especially to me. To other people, I could be empathic and be compassionate and be kind, not anywhere close to what I can now, but because of my awakening in these heart chakra openings. But my feminine needs to be heard. My feminine wants to be heard. My feminine wants to be recognized, and she wants her wounds to be acknowledged. So I have been processing through all the shadowy stuff over the last 4 days as she expresses herself and her desire to be nurtured, her desire to have softer energy, her desire to rest, her desire to be validated. Validation is so incredibly important. And when we go through life pretending we're fine all the time and denying aspects of ourselves, aspects of our wounded self, we become segmented and compartmentalized. And from that vantage point, we lack compassion for others. We lack empathy for others. Well, nobody was there for me, so why should I be there for them? Nobody was kind to me, and it's a kind of retaliatory energy. So, what I'm really picking up on at the present moment in time, and this goes for everyone out there, during this Venus in retrograde, it is now an opportunity to really sit with the feminine and listen to her complaints, her insecurities, her feelings, a lot of self-touch and gentle kindness. I've got the aroma rose on my diffuser. I had a nice bath earlier with rose in the water for that as well. And the primary question that I challenged everybody in the group today, and I'm challenging everyone watching, is what can I do in this moment to be a little softer, to be a little kinder, to be a little bit more gentle? The goal is soft. And I've not always been soft, especially with myself. I'm quite hypocritical, in fact, because I can be understanding and compassionate and empathic and all kinds of supportive and validating energies for other people. But for myself, there's this expectation that I should be over it by now. I should get on with it. I should, it's been over a year. It's been over 2 years. I should be recovered. I don't like being in my wounded. I don't like being broken. But if we don't acknowledge the broken and the wounded and the pains and the hurts, they go untransmuted, they go unprocessed. And when they go unprocessed, they act out in inappropriate ways that we don't have control over. So the only way to process through the wounds is to acknowledge the wounds. And when we acknowledge the wounds, we can step forth into a greater degree of power as the wounded healer archetype. The wounded healer archetype needs to heal itself. And I'm now just, hold on, Spirit is suggesting that I read something here. So I'm going to just quickly grab Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Miss, who is fantastic at introducing you to all of the archetypes. And there's something in here that we all need to hear, including me. So bear with me. Oh, wouldn't that be funny? I should have pressed pause. Healer. Aha. Here we go. Okay, so healer can be the wounded healer, an intuitive healer, a caregiver, a nurse, a therapist, an analyst, and a counselor. So any of those that you might be drawn into, this you need to listen up to. The healer archetype manifests as a passion to serve others in the form of repairing the body, mind, and spirit. It expresses itself through channels other than those classically associated with the healing of illnesses. And so you need to look beyond the obvious definition of what you do. You can be strongly guided by this archetype in any occupation or role in life. Some people, by their very nature and personality, are able to inspire others to release their painful histories or make changes in their life that redirect the course of their future. Essential characteristics include the inherent strength and the ability to assist people in transforming their pain into a healing process, as well as having the wiring required to channel the energy needed to generate physical or emotional changes. Well, I certainly managed that with my own life, because the first mission of any healer, if you're called into healing work, is heal thyself. This goes on to talk about the wounded healer. So the wounded healer is initiated into the art of healing through some form of personal hardship. Anything from actual physical injury or illness to the loss of one's earthly possessions. So many of us on this twin flame journey, spiritual awakening, have experienced crisis after crisis after crisis. I've previously done a video called The Initiations of an Awakening, and worth checking into, because this resonates very much with some of those teachings in that video. Regardless of the shape of the wound, the challenge inherent in this initiation process is one that is unable to turn to others for help beyond certain degrees of support. Isolation and loneliness is huge on this spiritual awakening. So many of us are being called into a shaman's initiation, or AKA a wounded healer's initiation. Only the initiates can ultimately heal the wound. If it is an illness or an accident, it will frequently be one for which there is no conventional cure. It's kind of funny. The wounded healer archetype emerges in your psyche with the demand that you push yourself to a level of inner effort that becomes more a process of transformation than an attempt to heal an illness. Well, if you look at where I started from and go and look at my first few videos of the year that I was started doing videos, which would be back in 2021, and look at me now and listen to me now, you will see quite an insane transformation. If you have successfully completed the initiation, you inevitably experience an exceptional healing. A path of service seems to be divinely provided shortly after the initiation is complete. So I started my healing quest in 2019 and went to great efforts to heal so many conditions. If you're not aware of all of those conditions, please check out some of my earlier videos in the body playlist because one after another, I had to heal my body and heal my emotions and heal my mind. And whilst healing, I was called into mission to share my healing tools and techniques with you out there. So this may be something that you also resonate with, this healer archetype. The shadow of both the healer and the wounded healer manifests through a desire to take advantage of those who need help. Oh, okay. So that ties in. I just did a video a couple days ago on spiritual narcissism and spiritual ego. So be forewarned, to every archetype, to every energy, there's a light and there's a shadow attribute. So there are many people that present themselves as healers or wounded healers. Like, look at me, I transmuted my wounds and now give me all your money. I'm going to perform some magical healing on you and take care of you. Be forewarned, the term healer in the past has always given me a little bit of a disdain to it. I don't have that same reaction to it now because I've earned the title and I will take it with pride. However, a true healer knows that all that they can actually do is create an environment of healing for somebody else in which they too heal themselves. So I can give you tools and techniques, but I cannot go do magic on you and do the work for you. You would have to not smoke and not eat the sugar and not do certain behaviors. You would have to create your own environment for health and wellness based upon the tools and techniques and strategies that I provide. So nobody actually heals another person. We just facilitate or support or guide somebody to heal themselves. So a wounded healer has to first sit in their wounds, as uncomfortable as they are, and transmute that energy and see where there are elements that are in the shadow that need to be recognized, whether it be feminine or masculine energies presenting out in the wounded archetype of either of those, as opposed to the divine archetype. So a divine feminine energy is one that can be nurturing and compassionate and kind, not one that is manipulative in its very nature. Okay, so I was saying about the shadow. The shadow of both the healer and the wounded healer manifests through a desire to take advantage of those who need help, including claims that you can heal any and every illness a person has. Ultimately, your own body heals your body. Somebody that steps into a wounded healer, it's no different than a nurse. A nurse cleans the wound, she puts a dressing on the wound, and that therefore creates the environment where the wound can heal. So when you are dealing with trauma wounds, which can manifest in physical illnesses and disease, which can manifest in emotional turbulence and disorders. I don't like to use the term disorder because, in my opinion, all emotions are natural responses to trauma. And once you heal the trauma, you no longer have the disorder. But some people wear the label of disorder for the rest of their lives. That's it. I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder. I always mess that one up. It was not manic. It was major depressive disorder. But I refuse to wear that label now because I'm like, no, I had trauma, and it was a normal human response to be depressed when being abused. And all that going on the antidepressants did was help me tolerate an abusive marriage much longer than I should have done. So the healer archetype, or the wounded healer archetype, is stepping forth to say, listen, I've surpassed my own wounds, or I've acknowledged and validated my own wounds. I've sat with my own wounds. I've been kind and compassionate and caring and gentle and nurturing and all of those loving, forgiving, sweet, all those types of energies to ourselves, so that we can ourselves bring our own shadow aspects out from the depths of I'm no longer going to hide the fact that I am a wounded woman. I am not going to carry the shame that somebody else handed to me with those wounds, because it's like a double present. Here's the trauma, now here's the shame. Well, the shame belongs back with the person that caused the trauma. Yes, I know that their trauma, and they perpetuated trauma because they themselves had trauma. Hurt people, but that's no excuse, because also healed people heal people, especially wounded healer people. So when we look at the wound and we say, oh my God, I was wounded. That happened to me. I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm going to hold myself. I'm going to hold space for myself in this. And I'm going to love myself through this and recognize that, no, I'm not as strong anymore as I used to be. I'm not. I used to be very strong because I was in my wounded masculine energy. Nobody can touch me. I'll take care of everything myself. And now I'm like, no, I am fragile. I am not the same person that I used to be. I need protection. And so, yes, I have much thicker boundaries now. My boundaries are my protection, not my stoic internal strength that caused a lot of low back pain from being like in a strong stance. I've relaxed the armor on me and put the armor on the boundaries. The boundaries themselves are what protects me, so that while I'm in my little cocoon here, my little castle of sorts, my wounded feminine can be nurtured and honored and respected and cared for. So yes, it's combining all of the energies into an environment around me. I've created a physical environment around me to create healing. So how do we create physical environments that are good for healing? Well, one, boundaries. Big, huge, gigantic boundaries. If we have toxic in our castle, then we're going to continue to get sick. It's like narcissistic individuals have plutonium in their pocket, and no matter how lovely they can present, they still have plutonium in the pocket, and it's still going to make you sick. So you don't want plutonium in your house. You want it way far away from you, blocked, deleted, huge boundaries. And so part of the wounded healer's mission is to establish a safe place, a safe environment. So safety is paramount. That's physical safety, emotional safety, mental safety, spiritual safety. Because in having an overabundance of forgiveness, and this kind of ties in with a lot of the energies that are at play right now, is, we get constantly told we need to forgive. If you've been pre-programmed as a child to continually continually forgive your abuser, then what you do is you open the door to them over and over and over again, exposing yourself to more plutonium, and then you get sicker and sicker and sicker. So your first and foremost is creating an environment where you can start to heal. You cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick in the first place. And toxic people are toxic because they'll make you sick. And so if you are wanting to do the recovery work, and my God, it's long and slow, and you need to be so forgiving on how much time it takes, because there is nothing my mind would want more than to be, I'm all better now. I'm all better. But if I circumvent the healing, the wounded healer, and not sitting in the wound and not caring for the wound, then you get scar tissue over top of the wound, and it's like yuck underneath, and then you have to go back in and eventually sit in it. There is no way around it. Trust me, I've tried. I've tried every way around it. I tried to be stoic. I tried to use substances. I tried to, meditate it away. I tried to sacred medicine it away. And ultimately, you need to sit in the wound. There is no other, you cannot bypass to bliss. And so I am honoring and sitting in the wounds today, cultivating a greater degree of gentleness so that there is an environment in which these wounds can start to heal even more. That feeling of brokenness can heal even more. And it's a continual process, and we go round and round, and we're like, oh my God, I'm back dealing with this again. Aren't I over this by now? How long do you think it's going to, I've been repressing it for 50 years. So how long do you think it's going to take to release it, to transmute it, to alchemize it, to heal it? It's going to take time. It's going to take time. And so our feminine energy is going to say, it's okay. It's okay. Take the time that you need. Take the time that you need, especially in this Venus in retrograde energy of extra gentle, soft kindness. So yes, that's energetically what's coming up for us today is getting in touch with the feminine within. And that doesn't matter whether you're masculine or feminine. These things need to be in balance. It's the yin yang. It's my logo. It's loving both sides of ourselves, our shadow and our light. So all those things we shove into the shadow, our brokenness, we shove into the shadow because we would rather pretend that everything's fine and put on a smiley face and show the world that everything's great when everything's not great. Very few things are actually great right now. So let's be authentic and own the not greatness and sit in the not greatness so that we can actually truly heal and change the not greatness into maybe some greatness, maybe some better energies as we, work our way up. But again, to do that, we need to balance the masculine and the feminine. So the masculine creates healthy boundaries for us. Instead of us being in our masculine, let the masculine say, get out. That's the masculine's job. Get out. This is over. I can't talk to you. I'm taking a 2-month holiday from you. I need some time to myself. I need to work on healing. So the masculine sets the boundary. And then the feminine comes in and says, it's okay. You're okay. It's okay. It's okay. Touch yourself. Nurture yourself. When my son was a baby, I'd sit there for hours just stroking his little head because it was the cutest thing in the entire world. I never put that child down. Like, seriously. I had a cot that I painted. It was all pretty. He slept in it all of half an hour. The rest of the time, he was snuggled in next to me. He was there with me. I was loving on him. I was holding his little feet. And that's where he stayed for years, is right snuggled in next to me. So snuggle in your inner child, snuggle in your wounded feminine if she's been through some really shitty times. Snuggle in all of the brokenness and love on them. No more shaming them or feeling like you're failing in some way because you have trauma. Listen, everybody has trauma. And if you're dealing with it, you're a hell of a lot better than everybody else who's still pretending that everything's hunky-dory when it's not. When it's not. It's not. That's just mass gaslighting. It's not. Not everybody is okay. That's malarkey. On social media, you only see what they want you to see. You don't see the arguments behind closed doors. You don't see the tears in the bathtub. You don't see the stress. You don't see the bank accounts with the debt. You don't see any of that. So don't worry about what anybody else is doing or pretending that they're doing. You just worry about you. Just nestle in with soft, gentle, cozy, loving, kind, caring. And if you need help while you're in dark emotions, I've done remothering audio affirmations. It's in the emotions playlist. And it's very good at just gently, softly telling you that everything's going to be okay. It's okay not to be okay. So yes, let's all be a little bit more kind and nurturing and gentle for the next month and a bit, while Venus is taking her time to look at her shadows as she traverses through this retrograde. And be safe. Number one, be safe. Be safe physically, be safe emotionally, be safe mentally, which means inner critic. No, you're on holidays. Go to Mexico for 6 weeks. Venus is in Venus is in retrograde. No negative commentary. Thank you very much. You can write a report and leave it with me mid-April, but until mid-April, there's to be no negative chitter chatter. So no, you're a failure. No, you're messing up. Why can't I manage to do what other people can do? Why can't other people have a relationship? No comparing, no minimizing, no devaluing, no gaslighting, none of those energies. Those are toxic energies. So we've created a nice environment for ourselves. Soft, gentle, soothing music, nice aromatherapies. So put on some nice music and no self-loathing, no critic. Absolutely not. If it's not sweet and gentle and they're there, everything's going to be okay, it's a no. It's a no till mid-April. And then you say, okay, and in mid-April, you can file your report of all the things I did over the last month and a half that you didn't feel was up to par. And I'm going to look at it and throw it in the bin anyways, but... Yes, so I'm sending you all my absolute love, and I'm holding you, and I'm sending you all the gentle, nurturing energy that you need right now. That's all we're giving to ourselves. So I hope you'll join me in this mission of feminine energy, jacked up. Yes. And hopefully what will happen is we'll balance ourselves a little bit more. We won't feel the need to be in a defensive, masculine, hyper-aroused fight or flight response. We can put the dukes down and allow ourselves to receive. And if people offer you stuff, take it. You want to make me a cup of tea? Oh, thank you. I would love that. You're going to take me for a drive? Oh, thank you. I would love that. You're going to cook dinner tonight? Oh, thank you. Yes, I accept. Yes, I accept. Feminine energy is receiving, it's allowing, it's accepting, it's nurturing, it's loving, it's kind, it's all of those things. So let's embrace our inner feminine and comfort our wounded aspects of self. See? Lots of love. If you would like to book with me because some of this energy is exceptionally triggering and wounds are surfacing and it's overwhelming, please feel free to send me off an email at justbebeing to book yourself a one-on-one. I book by 1 hour, 2 hour, or 3 hour increments. All of my services are by donation. Otherwise, as I said when we started this video, join us in the Spiritual Warriors support group over there on Facebook so that you can get access to the links, and the donation link as well is there. And we can have a nice discussion with other warriors that are going through the same stuff that you are. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are never alone on this journey, even when you are alone. So with that all said, thank you, and thank you for all the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, the supers, the everything. Just thank you. Peace in, peace in, peace in, peace in.